My wonderful, beautiful, amazing birthday, Virgos. Happy birthday to all Virgos out in this world, to my beautiful followers and fledglings, to all Virgos who haven't subscribed as of yet. But I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot, and for today I'm going to be doing your general reading, your past, present, future, 9-card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck, clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and finish off with 3 yes or no answers for thee. But I hope you guys are having a beautiful season. So, okay, the general card is the 9 of Pentacles. So, you start off in the past with 9 of Swords. Oof. Air placements, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and then you get the High Priestess, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. My goodness, you get one of the cards I pulled for the vampire, but it came in reversed. Scorpio energy. Yeah, it looked like that you pretty much, had to come to terms with some kind of nightmare situation because especially with the High Priestess, it could have been like a nightmare that you've never really experienced before in other ways. And because, normally with the High Priestess, she has her upper book of knowledge of her past experiences, everything that's pretty much, that she accumulated over her entire existence up until today for that matter. But it's also in the sense that you have to kind of let go of something, especially with the Death reverse. Because normally with the Death upright, it's all about rebirthings and stuff like that, and that there's still hope in other ways. But here it kind of started off in the past that you pretty much probably had a bit of a suffering moment that took place. Yeah. I hope it doesn't resonate, and should it, I really hope, that it's not as bad as it may seem, and that hopefully that you're now in a beautiful healing position in other ways. But if you're in a real, conflicted mindset of some kind of heartbreak of some kind, though, and thank goodness we haven't come across the Three of Swords in other ways. But the thing is, it's like sometimes, yeah, these situations, happen for a reason, and then those are either, valuable lessons to learn from, so you could try to avoid it for the future, but those are also, moments to kind of gain clarity on the inside of the situation as well. Because in current times, you get 3 of Pentacles reversed, not getting much support. Though you get the 8 of Cups reversed, not wanting to give up. And then you get the Queen of Cups, love, support, healing, and nurturing. Because you know what I'm kind of getting here is, it's like, I feel like that you're pretty much depending on yourself in current times. Because that's, what the healing, support, loving, caring, and nurturing is all about. As if you feel like that you don't really have many people around you to support you, shoulder to cry on, or any kind of arms to wrap around you to keep you warm and secure and safe in other ways. Here you are pretty much just actually reminding yourself to say, wait a second, I still have myself, to be able to be, to be supporting, during this, negative, situation that is pretty much taking place in your current times for that matter. So I'm just kind of seeing is that, maybe, it's like you pretty much, I'm just wondering, about if you're dealing with any kind of legal battles, does that mean anything for you, or any kind of lost opportunities, grand mistakes of some kind? Because, it's like, I want to actually, quickly move on, but I do love the fact that you do have this love, support, and caring and healings kind of card. Because if you even get a chance to watch my, one of my previous videos about the history of Elizabeth Bathory and, and the history of blood, it's all about healing and also stuff like that, because how blood is incredibly healing in so many ways. Now, in the future, you do start off with the 8 of Swords upright, Justice reverse, like I was talking about that legal battle, and then you get 2 of Pentacles and you feel overwhelmed. I feel like that's either A, you could be facing, this real big legal battle and you might not win in the end, but it could also be where you also feel incredibly directionless and imbalanced about any kind of situation that, could be taking place outside of legal matters, and it's putting you in a sense of feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, that's the honest truth is sometimes a lot of humans, they don't really care for, the Virgo season. I personally love Virgos. I think you guys are very smart and analytical, but it's all about the season per se, though. Some humans, they dislike the summer holiday, like Leo seasons. Like, I don't care about the summer holiday, personally myself. But the thing is, it's like, because that means that you have to get back into the swing of things. It means that you actually do have to start all over, or you have to go back to, any kind of, situation that's kind of making you have to work again. You have to go back to school, you have to go back to your job, and you just already feel exhausted, or you haven't fully healed or recovered in other ways. Because, it's like, why would you suddenly be going from this loving, caring up to feeling directionless and stuck, and feeling imbalanced about something, and feeling overwhelmed? So, we're going to have to do some clarification. Nine of Swords, you got hit with this Four of Cups. You were being presented with this offering, but you were incredibly hesitant about it. And that's the thing, with any kind of like unforeseen offerings or any kind of offerings that you really just think, absolutely not. I just don't feel like having to be, presented with something, especially when you get the High Priestess reverses when, you could have already, you could be dealing with this nightmare situation for the first time. And mind you, about any kind of first timers for anything, any first time could be a very beautiful, unforeseen, happy, positive effect where you get your first child, for example, where it's like, wow, glorious, or you actually get your first win. But with any kind of unforeseen, any kind of, first time for any kind of negative effect, that hits people incredibly hard because, they don't have the experience or the coping mechanisms yet to actually be able to deal with that at the moment. And that is, actually one of the hardest lessons is when you're dealing with something for the first time and you pretty much just think, I've never dealt with this before. How do I go about it and stuff like that? Yeah, sometimes there are first timers for a lot of people and it really hits them so hard. Though, with the High Priestess of maybe, unforeseen, not having much experience, you get some kind of star wish fulfillment of Aquarius. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom in today's reading so far. So the thing is maybe this offering is actually a wonderful blessing in disguise kind of card for that matter. And so the thing is, it's like with any kind of like, wish fulfillment, you could have, celebrated your birthday. You could have, received a beautiful gift and it was a beautiful star, or exactly, after you blew out your birthday candles, that's exactly what was being presented to you in other ways. But that's kind of, one angle I kind of see from this combination. But the other angle is that it's kind of like a silver linings kind of blessing in disguise kind of offering as well. Because even though when you got the Death reversed, you get Daughter of Skulls, also known as Page of Pentacles. So you probably had to kind of let go of something. So I'm kind of getting the word sacrifice because I know that Leo also got that word if you have anything to do with Leos in other ways. But I feel like that this new offering, this new job and stuff like that is actually putting you in a bit more of a secure position in other ways. Because maybe that's kind of like the silver linings kind of offering is like, it could have been an unforeseen, event that could have actually taken place that actually put you in a situation of thinking, oh goodness, how do I get out of this situation? And it's not always going to be glamorous in any way. But just like with any kind of pages, it's all about going out on this beautiful new journey. And that's kind of having to let go of the past so you can welcome new beginnings. Because the General card is definitely all about abundance. But of course, abundance comes in many forms, from maybe a lot of money to maybe a really good job, happy home, happy earth, happy family, good friends and stuff. Because even though you might feel alone and maybe be faced with all kinds of new beginnings by yourself, you get the Prince of Skulls, one of your beautiful cards, upright in the sense that there's slow yet certain movement in your favor. And that's the thing, it's like, it just looks like, that, sometimes, you pretty much have to experience, slow but yet certain movement in your own way where you just think, okay, as long as it's like, if you're stuck in a metaphorical traffic jam for that matter, and you're all alone in your vehicle, maybe you can put on some music or maybe whatever it may be. But the thing is, it's like, as long as you know that traffic is still moving just very slowly, but yet eventually you'll get there. That's kind of one angle I'm kind of getting from this combination. But it's kind of also like how you're pretty much, heading off towards this voyage in other ways. They're slow, but yet certain movement. And that's also kind of also easing any kind of like nightmare situation as well. Because here you are not giving up on something. Because you get Leo energy with strength. My goodness, what is it with? It seems like a lot of the zodiac signs, except for Leo. Leo got, the King of Wands as a general thing, but it seems like even the previous zodiac signs got a lot of Leo energy, so you could definitely have so much Leo energy in your life right now. But here you are just not giving up because you actually have strength and confidence. Maybe you just don't want to keep waiting. Maybe you just actually think, okay, this metaphorical traffic jam is just kind of, driving me nuts right now. So right now I'm just going to actually take my own initiative and just say, okay, I'm not going to give up. Or this could also be you actually not wanting to, to give up on the traffic jam as well because you know how strong and confident you are. But this is also about not letting, any kind of nightmare situations ever holding you back in other ways. Wow. Because here's love, caring, supporting, and nurturing, and healing, and you get the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. So I kind of just see that, maybe, you do have a bit of a conflict with maybe a Leo for that matter. If it does, please let me know in the comment section below, because it just seems like in the last few readings, there's been nothing but Virgo and Leo energy in your readings. But other than that, I just see, you actually, healing, and you're kind of, doing a lot of self-reflection and stuff like that regarding this whole negative event that probably took place in other ways, and you pretty much just think, maybe you do want to heal, maybe you do want to recover from something, but in other ways, there's just a lot of, like introspection for you to actually be thinking about. Because, it's like, I do see this offering taking place. I do see some kind of star wish fulfillment that's benefiting you. I do see you embarking on this new journey in other ways. I mean, this is also not one of your beautiful cards and stuff. But this is also kind of you thinking, okay, well, right now we've been through, a bit of a rough patch and stuff like that. Now we're going to go into some healing, and now we're going to do self-reflection on how we can avoid it for the next time. Because for the Eight of Swords, you feel kind of stuck and directionless. Because, well, you get the Daughter of Grails, also known as the Page of Cups. More water placement. So what I'm kind of getting here is, it's like, yeah, you want to actually escape, this negative, situation that you're in. This kind of like a negative swamp area. It's like, I was just thinking about this kind of swamp area from this, Page of Cups, because you just don't want to be stuck in any kind of mucky situation, right? No, you want to actually, you have this daydream. You want to actually, and that's actually, it will probably eventually going to release you in other ways, because you do get abundance in, with the Nine of Pentacles in other ways. So this is you actually thinking, okay, I'm, I may be in a uncertain, position right now, but I have this very beautiful idea, child, this daydream that I want to actually start heading off towards. I wish for this, or I crave and desire for this ending in other ways as well. Because despite justice reversed, you might feel imbalanced about something, but you get the Wheel of Fortune. Luck and fortune is going to be on your side either way, and that's what I love to see, is that, sometimes, it's like, it's ups and downs. One minute you feel like you're on top of the world, the next you feel like you're just kind of struggling and suffering in other ways. So I feel like that this Eight of Swords and this Page of Cups is putting in a beautiful mindset of thinking, what do you personally want, and how are you going to get it? So here you are maybe in an imbalanced situation, but you could also be offered luck and fortune in the future as well. Because in the future, there's a real big decision for you to make, and maybe you feel overwhelmed, but you're going to have to make this big decision of whatever it may be. I just see offerings taking place, but yet somehow you feel kind of overwhelmed with the Two of Pentacles, and yet you have this real big decision that's going to have to be made. What choice and decision are you going to be taking? Because the thing is, it's like, with the, justice reverse, you feel imbalanced, but yet with the, Wheel of Fortune, luck and fortune, it doesn't have to always mean money for that matter. It can mean, good companionship, your friends, your family, your fledglings, your pets, whatever it may be. But here you are, being presented with this big option that is putting you in a situation where you just think, I don't know if I can handle this, right? But you'll have to force yourself to push yourself, to make this big decision of some kind. Because speaking of offerings, you get the Knight of Cups as your special vampire card coming up. And this is an offering that's going to be taking place in the future. But it's an interesting offering because it's water element like you are earth. And as long as water is clear, then it does mean it's healthy and stuff like that. Usually does. But it also means that you actually have this clear idea of what kind of offering is going to be taking place. So that's kind of also part of, this Two of Swords is which sword are you going to be allowing this offering to, head off towards in other ways as well. And so this, I think, that today's, like, valuable, key theme is pretty much, that you have this real big choice and decision. You're are being offered, options and opportunities. However, the things, you really do need to think clearly about how you're going to go about it. Because Oracle wants to move on to love conquers all, enduring loyalty, eternal love, and lasting commitment. And that's the thing, is if you love yourself a lot, which I see here, is that, you have probably a lot of loyalty towards yourself. You pretty much have eternal love. I mean, we haven't come across lovers in any way, but you have a long and lasting commitment towards yourself in other ways on how you're going to go about your own life, your own problems, your own offerings and stuff like that. Because if you love yourself a lot, you know how to go about this. You know how to release yourself from any kind of nightmarish situations, any kind of bindings, any kind of uncertainties, hesitancies and stuff like that. And that's the most important person who's always going to be there, because even though you get the Three of Pentacles reversed, and this is where your self-love also starts to come in, because you might not have everybody entirely on your side. You might even have the whole world against you, for all I know. I don't think so. But if you ever feel like you're ever alone, the most important person who you should always devote your time, love, and caring and loving self towards is yourself. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to have to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered. For number 1, you get a yes with the 5 of Wands reversed. You get a no with the 6 of Wands reversed. Whoops. And then you get another definite yes with the World upright. So I'm not allowed to show stuff. So far, you actually get 2 yeses and 1 no for today's reading. Well, my beautiful birthday, Virgos, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. But if this reading resonated, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. In a few days, I'm going back to love readings. So for now, I'm just doing general and love. I'm also open for personal readings. I even do birthday readings. So please feel free to browse, the different types of prices for personal readings if you're ever interested, and always let me know in the comments section below if you ever want a personal reading from me. But anyway, thank you again so much for joining me. I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all the best of luck on where this journey may take you. Self-love, self-care, self-healing, and so much devotion towards yourself. So thank you again.